Hi guys, Simply Candia here with the Age Journal. I am back to share with you this beautiful find that I recently discovered in my treasure hunting. And it is a teacher book to record students' attendance and that sort of thing from 1891. It has this beautiful marbled paper and this little label with the teacher's name and a student's initials and a class number already typed up on it here. And the back has the marbling as well. It has map pages on the inside. It has a guide to the teacher, the students' names, the residence, where they're from, their residence and remarks, the dates, how to use this book, the quarterly accounts and remarks about the students, and suggestions to teacher as to how to be a teacher and how to treat your students. So I just thought this would be a really fun little booklet to turn into a journal. Add some plain tea-dyed or coffee-dyed pages to it and make it a little junk journal notebook. So that's what I did. I took the staples apart in it, very carefully opened them up, and scanned each of these pages into my computer, and then very carefully put this book back together. And then I had the pages printed out, and I made the label blank. So in the scanned images that will be available on my Etsy shop, you will have a blank one or one that has the name on it. You'll have 3 copies of the front. You'll have one copy with the name on it, with it inked up, because I inked it up for one of the scans. You'll have it inked up with not inked up, plain, and not inked up with the nameplate filled in. So you'll have 3 choices for the cover when you print out. And then you'll have all of the pages, including the inside cover, to print out. And you can use these in other journals, and you can change the size of them because they're just a P&G journal. And so I have printed out and started cutting up the pages so that we could make a little journal together. And so what I did is I just cut the big part of the journal out, the white part out, and left a little edge around it. And then I did the same with the back side of the cover, and then I glued the 2 together. And I did that for all of these pages. Okay? And so then after I got them glued together, I'm going to take my scissors and I'm going to roughly cut them, and I'm going to wiggle them so that they're not a perfect line, because these are very rough pages. And I don't want a perfect line. So it gives it more that added aged look. And this is something I learned from Genevieve Designs, from Jennifer Harrison, is just to wiggle your scissors as you're cutting. And it does work. It makes the pages look nice and aged. And then when we put our ink on them, they look old. Now, I found all kinds of goodies from this seller that I bought this from, and they are all going to be in my Etsy shop. Some canceled checks, some tickets, some beautiful pictures, another journal. So watch out for those to be going in my Etsy shop, and I will be posting pictures of those on my Instagram account. So if you are not a follower of me on Instagram, you may want to go check out my page. It's the Age Journal on Instagram, because you can get sneak peeks of other things that I'm doing besides what I do show you here on YouTube on my Instagram account. Okay, now that we got this side cut out, I'm going to check the other side and see if there was some parts that I missed. And yes, there is. So there's some white still showing down here. You can do one of two choices. You can ink real heavily down there and just cover it up, or you can cut it again. And I'm going to cut it again and just cut the white part off. Now, I took this to Staples to print it out, and the gentleman who printed them for me printed it a little bit smaller than the actual book size was. So when you have this in your own hands, you can play around with the size of what you want it to be and print it to be the actual size of the book itself. There we go. And then that will be our cover. Now I'm going to ink the cover up with copy dye ink, and I inked all the pages up that I did, and I switched the pages up in here a little bit because one of the things that the guy who printed them out for me did is these two pages he printed out on a larger scale than the rest of the pages, so they weren't matching up with their friends on the back side. So I just glued these two pages together and cut them down to be the same size as the rest of the pages, but as you can see, they're cut really close to the edge of the images, whereas the rest have their nice even space around the edge that they're supposed to have. But that's okay. When you do it for yourself, you can do a better job. I don't think he realized he accidentally did two pages a different size. And so we're just going to ink up real quick, so I want to give it a little bit more of an aged look and finish it off after printing it off. But if you want the natural look of the book, you don't have to do this. And the reason I inked up the book and the original book and scanned it like that is so that people who don't want to ink it up but want the look of it inked up can print it out like that. Okay, so I just glued these pages together. What I did is I printed these ones out on 20-pound printer paper, including this back page. And then this front page I printed on 67-pound cardstock paper because I didn't want it to be too heavy of a weight since I was going to be gluing the back page to it. So I didn't want to do it on the 110-pound cardstock. If you're not going to glue the back to it, I would recommend doing the 110-pound cardstock because you can do all of these pages as individual pages and have the back of them be blank for writing on and do your journal that way. That's an option of how you can do your journal. And add a couple more individual pages of the coffee dyed pages in between, in amongst them. That's another option. And then you can age the back side of your papers up, or have it printed on cream paper so it's already a little aged looking, and then this around ink around the, there we go. My brain just left me there for a second. Ink around the pages on the back side, and maybe do some stenciling on the back side with the ink so that it looks more aged if you leave them blank. So then we're going to take our scoreboard. I remembered it this time. Yay! Couldn't remember the name one of the last times in the videos, but came to me this time. And we're just going to score along the center of the booklet, and we're going to fold it over. And then we are going to ink the spine up. And I didn't get that folded over quite evenly, so I'm going to pull it forward so it's in half more, and I'm going to re-score it. There, that's a little better. Now, I did, like I said, print it out with the one that doesn't have anything written on it, so you can write your own information on the front. And this all fits inside here, and it does stick out a little bit more than the original booklet, but as you can see, this is slightly smaller of a size than the original booklet, mostly shorter and slightly not as wide, but that's okay. It's still a cute little size for a booklet. And we are going to clip this together, get it all together so that it's all even. And we're going to do our 3-hole pamphlet stitch on it. Oh, there goes my inker. And since we're just doing one signature, we don't need to do the grid on the center of it that we normally had used in the past to do the more than one signature. That's only if you're doing one or more more than one signature, 2 or more signatures. So, but we're still gonna fold our book in so we get a nice, get through the grooves and come out on the center of the back side. I'm just going to eyeball where I want my signatures to be. And then we're going to sew it together. So I got my thread and my needle here. And we're just going to run our needle through the 3 holes, in through the middle, down to the bottom. In through them, up and back into the middle again. Up to the top. And then we're going to tighten it up. And we're going to take our clips off. I like to do that so that the book can kind of wiggle into place in the string. And then we're going to tie it at the center hole. We're going to get the thread right into the hole, and it just sticks to each other, the threads do, and make a knot. And I'm going to tie it 2, 3, maybe even a 4th time just for good measure to make sure it stays tied. And then we're going to just cut it off down there. And there we go. Now we got this cute little book, and the pages stick out a little bit, but I don't mind that because in the original book they're doing the same thing. So this one's a little bit thicker than the original, but because we added the extra pages and because we have these pages being a little bit thicker than the original booklet, but you can just stick a little clip on it to help it stay closed when not in use. And you got this cute little journal to pop into your purse. Makes a great little gift. That for January, I'm in my Facebook group. I'm going to do a challenge, and for my challenge, the gift is going to be the giveaway for the challenge. It will be a random giveaway for everybody who enters the challenge. Is going to be the digital paper of this journal, the digital kit. So whoever wins that enters that challenge, and whoever is the random winner of that challenge will get this digital kit for this journal. So I hope you guys join us. It's going to be a loaded envelope pocket for putting into your journals, and I will have the details coming up on my group for Journaling with Simply Candia coming up real soon. And if you enjoyed this video, please give me a thumbs up and and share it. And hope you are having a great day, and I will talk to you guys next Wednesday. Bye.